Imagine this atmosphere with amnesia. Yeah, headphone jack came undone.
Dear Esther, I sometimes feel as if I've given birth to this island. Somewhere between the longitude and latitude, a split, and it beached remotely here. No matter how hard I correlate, it remains a singularity, an alpha point in my life that refuses all hypothesis. I return each time leaving fresh markers that I hope, in the full glare of my hopelessness, will have blossomed into fresh insight in the interim.
Philip.
Kevin?
Have you been playing Bioshock 2?
No, I've been watching the LA Kings get the Stanley Cup.
Oh, okay.
Very happy the Kings won.
Come watch me play Bioshock. Oh no, you're playing it, that will ruin it.
What kind of game is this, Ross?
Story.
Gotcha.
You don't do anything but walk.
Oh, fuck this.
Basically, it's just a story. You can't jump, you can't control anything besides just holding the WASD.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit,
That's interesting.
a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
What's up, Lily? Welcome to the most atmospheric game I know of. With a great storytelling.
So the people that made this game are working with the Amnesia developers for the next one?
Yep. Philip, just watch until I get to the cave, and you'll understand why I'm excited.
At night, you can see the lights sometimes from a passing tanker or trawler. From up on the cliffs, they are mundane. But down here, they fugue into ambiguity. For instance, I cannot readily tell if they belong above or below the waves. The distinction now seems banal. Why not everything and all at once? There's nothing better to do here than indulge in contradictions whilst waiting for the fabric of life to unravel.
It's just so relaxing. You can hear the wind
Dear Esther,
roaring.
I found myself to be as featureless as this ocean, as shallow and unoccupied as this bay, a listless wreck without identification. My rocks are these bones, and a careful fence to keep the precipice at bay. Shot through me caves, my forehead a mount. This aerial will transmit into me so. All overexposed, the nervous system, where Donnelly's boots and yours and mine still trample. I will carry a torch for you. I will leave it at the foot of my headstone. You will need it for the tunnels that carry me under.
I didn't find that next to last time. with the detail they put into this game. This was originally a Half-Life mod. And it's been re-released with updated graphics or whatever, $10.
When does the next Amnesia come out?
They said hopefully before Halloween.
Donnelly's book had not been taken out from the library since 1974. I decided it would never be missed as I slipped it under my coat and avoided the librarian's gaze on the way out. If the subject matter is obscure, the writer's literary style is even more so. It is not the text of a stable or trustworthy reporter. Perhaps it is fitting that my only companion in these last days should be a stolen book written by a dying man. When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or a fishing boat, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff path died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh. They were God-fearing people, those shepherds. There was no love in the relationship. Donnelly tells me that they had one Bible that was passed around in strict rotation. It was stolen by a visiting monk in 1776, 2 years before the island was abandoned altogether. In the interim, I wonder, did they assign chapter and verse to the stones and grasses, marking the geography with a superimposed significance, that they could actually walk the Bible and inhabit its contradiction?
I'm not sure what time frame the Amnesia was set in. Someone in here can probably tell you.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life. I would leave you presents outside your retreat in this interim space between cliff and beach. I would leave you loaves and fishes, but the fish stocks have been depleted and I've run out of bread. I would row you back to your homeland in a bottomless boat, but I fear we would both be driven mad by the chatter of the sea creatures.
Carbon, hydrogen oxide. Tree. Not really much in this game. But if you could just get their sound guy with all the stuff and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like just listening to the water and the wind.
Phil,
Cameron.
why aren't you the Dark Dragon on Twitch?
I would watch the Dark Dragons channel.
Everyone will watch the Dark Dragon. Come on.
Good luck, man.
He still maintains he wasn't drunk, but tired. I can't make the judgment or the distinction anymore. I was drunk when I landed here, and tired too. I walked up the cliff path in near darkness and camped in the bay where the trawler lies beached. It was only at dawn that I saw the bothy and decided to make my temporary lodgings there. I was expecting just the aerial and a transmitter stashed in a weatherproof box somewhere on the mount. It had an air of uneasy permanence to it. Like all the other buildings here, erosion seems to have evaded it completely.
Yeah, it's basically a big storybook with video attached that you get to walk through at your own pace and enjoy. The ending is really good and worth it.
Dear,
Oops.
I've now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Needless to say, this game was a nice break after playing like Amnesia for like the last 7 days.
Yeah, I bet.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred.
Philip, watch my
Now my
screen,
stones
too.
have grown into an island and made their escape,
Suck.
and you have been
This
left
game
opaque
sucks.
by the
Ain't good
car
enough.
that was drunk.
Słuchaj, gdzie chcesz kasę pan?
Actually,
When I first looked into the shaft, I swear I felt the stones in my stomach shift in recognition.
it's a lot different this time.
What do you mean it's a lot different?
Apparently it changes every single time you play through it. Like the story. There should be a video.
I've begun to climb, away from the sea and towards the center. It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around the aerial and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore.
Might need to reload to get it to show up. next section is the best, though.
The bothy was
What's up,
constructed
Riley?
originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either. 3 cormorants seen at dusk. They did not land. His house built of stone, built by a long-dead shepherd. Contents: my camp bed, a stove, a table, chairs, my clothes, my books. The caves that score out the belly of this island, leaving it famished. My limbs and belly famished. This skin, these organs, this failing eyesight. When the battery runs out in my torch, I will descend into the caves and follow only the phosphorescence home.
Yeah, this game works for some people, and it doesn't work for some other people. It really just depends on your attitude. It's not really a game, it's more of a story that you interact with and enjoy.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed.
I can just move my
The
mic
result
closer.
of some birth defect, or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
Shortcut. The waves. It's a guy's story that you're traveling through, basically, of his life on this island.
Ross, my stream is really laggy for some reason. Why?
I don't know.
You're
Did
the
Jakobsen
computer,
crawl this far?
You know everything.
Can I identify the scratches his nails ruined into the rocks? Am I following him cell for cell, inch for inch? Why did he turn back on himself and not carry through to the ascent?
Yeah, these guys are the same guys that are working with the people that made Amnesia to make the second Amnesia game. Oh, Lily, it sucks that you can't see it, because that's half the fun. This cave. Philip, imagine an Amnesia monster chasing you in this cave. You couldn't be scared. Be all happy. just want to put a tent right here and just stare up at this all day. Living off the mushrooms.
Imagine all the spiders that would be in that cave this were amnesia.
Oh god. Yeah.
And now I've ruined it for you.
There'd be so many spiders. Go up there next. We have to go up there.
I first saw him sat by the side of the road. I was waiting for you to be cut out of the wreckage. The car looked like it had been dropped from a great height. The guts of the engine spilled over the tarmac, like water underground.
The music, the atmosphere, it's amazing. Just take it a little bit. I'm just gonna stand here and look around for a second. Slowly pan the camera. No, you can't die. It's just a story. This room, right here. We need this in every video game. Oh,
Yeah, I
Lily,
can imagine
you
this
can
being
go
a
see
great
this.
Call of Duty map.
Oh, I could. We're gonna print screen this. Basically, you're going through a story on the island. You're not doing anything, you can't die, you just walk around and listen to the story, basically, and listen to the music and the sound effects. These are the same guys that are co-making the next Amnesia. So, like, all their talent with sound effects and stuff and atmosphere is going to be put to work in Amnesia. Well, they won't have this in Amnesia, but I'm sure they will use, like, this, I don't know, this style of this talent with art design and atmosphere in Amnesia. Oh. I really don't want to go down, but I have to eventually. I could see you happen to run from the monster and then have to like jump into it. Okay, here we go. Oh, you can't. He does not jump on. Oh, this is different already. There's something that happened when I went underwater. Oh. I wish I had... I wish I could show this deal on 720p. It looks amazing over here, and I'm looking at the screen for the video preview, and it doesn't do it justice by seeing it on your own monitor. Yeah, imagine this level. Amnesia sound was good, but imagine this level of sound in Amnesia would make it even more intense. Oh, I got to make it across this time. Last time, it made me slip over there somewhere. So this is going to be completely new from now on. Wow. Why can't every game look like this? I'm sure there's going to be new monsters in the new Amnesia. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of new stuff that we're not going to be ready for.
If the caves are my guts, this must be the place where the stones are first formed. The bacteria phosphoresce and rise, singing through the tunnels. Everything here is bound by the rise and fall, like a tide. Perhaps the whole island is actually underwater.
This is so relaxing. I would just like fall asleep somewhere over there. I would set up a blanket and just crash.
I will hold the hand you offered to me.
Sound
From the
effects.
summit down to this well, into the dark waters where the small flowers creep for the sun. Headlights are reflected in your retinas, moonlit in the shadow of the crematorium chimney.
Remember that big hole at the beginning? Oh, you missed it. Hold on, I'll go back and let you see the... See that one room real quick. I'm sure no one will complain. I just fall and not die. Haha. Imagine playing like Skyrim with this level of graphics and sound effects. I mean, Skyrim gets pretty close to this, but just imagine.
I can tell you right now, my Skyrim looks fantastic. I have graphics mods. just all over the place in my game. You jump in?
Phil has to make his Skyrim look fabulous.
The sound of the water getting out of the water is so nice. Behold, Damascus sunken. Away from Beneki. And a different color cave. This really freaks me out about the next amnesia. It's gonna be...
Yeah, I'm excited.
Philip, I can't wait to hear you play that one blind.
Yeah, playing it blind is going to be hilarious. Because I knew what to expect when I played through it, and I was still screaming like crazy.
The water. Well. This is different than last time. Maybe I just went up too fast. Just keep watching and you'll understand why the car is there. It'll answer the questions, I promise. If you listen carefully to what that is.
How long is this game?
Not much longer.
I sat here and watched two jets carve parallel white lines into the sky. They charted their course, and I followed them for 21 minutes until they turned off near Sanford and were lost. If I were a gull, I would abandon my nest and join them. I would starve my brain of oxygen and suffer delusions of transcendence. I would tear the bottom from my boat and sail across the motorways until I reached this island once again.
If you look very carefully, you can actually see the jet trails. I didn't notice that the first time. I don't know if y'all can see it on stream, because of the quality. But like right in the center of the screen, there are two jet lines that he was just talking about. Kind of like over here where the cloud starts, it goes right here and goes across. Twitch needs to let me have 720p streams. Ah, the music just fits this so well.
Dear Esther, I find each step harder and heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly folded clothes. He tells me I was not drunk at all.
See you later, Riley. What's up, Medicated? We have a defibrillator, some gauze, some type of pills, a syringe. Told you, Bastion's amazing. The narrator is amazing. Some of you should be starting to piece together what's happening in the story. Drunk when it happened. Flashback a little bit ago.
Phil.
This is Dear Esther. It's a game made by the people that are going to be making or helping make the next Amnesia game. This is just all a story. No interaction soon. Picture of someone. Looks like a little girl. Another piece of the puzzle. For those of you that are trying to put it together. And don't blurt it out in chat. If I have to, I'll explain it at the end. But, but try not to spoil what's going on
All
for
by
people.
the roadside, by the exit for Damascus, all ticking and cooled, all feathers and remorse, all of these signals routed like traffic through the circuit diagrams of our guts, those badly written boats torn bottomless in the swells, washing us forever ashore.
See you later, medicated.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. It'd be cool if you could go outside for a brief bit in Asia too. Even if I know a lot of it will probably be inside because of the whole machine thing, but it would be nice to have a little bit of outdoor time. It's a radio tower. The red light is used for airplanes to know where it is, so they don't hit it.
The pain in my leg sent me blind for a few minutes as I struggled up the cliff path. I swallowed another handful of painkillers, and now I feel almost lucid. The island around me has retreated to a hazed distance, whilst the moon appears to have descended into my palm to guide me. I can see a thick black line of infection reaching for my heart from the waistband of my trousers. Through the fugue, it's all the world like the path I have cut from the lowlands towards the aerial.
What's up, Oculus? God, such a beautiful island. Currently, dear Esther, really close to the end. It's pretty
I've
much a
begun
big
my
story.
voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and casts parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
And he was proceeding on his journey, if y'all can't read that. Not gonna lie, if they would have put a jump scare anywhere in this, it would have gotten me so hard, I probably would have just died.
You would have pooped your pants.
And come near Damascus. It's possible.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
And he was 3 days without sight. And neither did he eat nor sleep. Those parallel lines up in the sky.
The stones in my stomach will weigh me down and ensure my descent is true and straight. I will break through the fog of these godforsaken pills and achieve clarity. All my functions are clogged, all my veins are choked. If my leg doesn't rot off before I reach the summit, it will be a miracle. There are 21 connections in the circuit diagram of the anti-lock brakes. There are 21 species of gull inhabiting these islands. It is 21 miles between the Sandford Junction and the turn-off for home. All these things cannot, will not be a coincidence.
And it came to pass that as made my journey
As I made my journey.
as I made my journey, it was some. Whoa! Well then. Made my journey. Guardrail right there. And it was something. Suddenly shone from the heavens a light, or a great light, round about me, and could not see
He was not
for
drunk,
the
Esther.
glory
He was not drunk at all.
that
He had
light.
not drunk with Donnelly or spat Jakobsen back at the sea.
Not much longer.
He had not careered across the lost shores and terminal beaches of this nascent archipelago. He did not intend his bonnet to be crumpled like a spent tissue by the impact. His windscreen was not star-studded all over like a map of the heavens. His paintwork etched with circuit diagrams, strange fish to call the gulls away. The phosphorescence of the skid marks lighting the M5 all the way from Exeter to Damascus.
We're like 5 minutes from the end of that. Being led by the hand of men. We're with me. Probably now work with me. I came to Damascus. Once you've seen it, it's not really worth buying, though it's really great.
We will leave twin vapor trails in the air, white lines etched into these rocks.
Dear Esther, I have burned the cliffs of Damascus. I have drunk deep of it. My heart is my leg and a black line etched on the paper all along this boat without a bottom. You are all the world like a nest to me. Eggs unbroken form like fossils, come together, send small black flowers to the air. From this infection, hope. From this island, flight. From this grief, love.